Can you tell us about the producer of Never Say Never? And had this
Ric
guy?
Ocasek?
Yeah. And by the way, is it Ocasek or Ocas?
Ocasek.
We've heard different versions of his.
We debate this.
Well, no one ever corrected me, so it was Ocasek to me.
Okay, perfect. But
I'm pretty sure we just called him Rick, you know.
Probably best. How did he find you guys?
Well, one of his roadies on his tour bus had our first album on cassette and played it for him, and he was intrigued. And he had been working with suicide, you know, and so we were intrigued by that. And when he contacted us, you know, I heard you're going to be in town. I want you to come by the studio. And we were like, really? And he goes, yeah, I'd like to try to work with you. Whoa. So we organized it so that we could spend some days working with him. And Never Say Never happened as a fluke, honestly, because it was something we'd been working out at sound checks, but never played him because it wasn't finished. And so the EP was originally Not Safe. What are the other songs on that?
Ooh.
Anyway, I can't remember if there were. But anyway, but Never Say Never wasn't even going to be a part of the three, because we only did 3 songs with him before we did Never Say Never. But then the engineer came to our gig at the end of our few days recording with Rick, and we played that song as an encore because that was when you could play that kind of stuff you hadn't really worked out yet, you know. And he was like, why didn't you guys ever play that for us? We were like, well, it's not really finished. He was like, well, I'm calling the studio because we're loading your gear back up into the studio because I already called Rick and told him we got to go back in the studio and record this song with you guys. And so it still wasn't finished when we went in the next day. And we recorded like a 13-minute version, which then with the miracle of a razor blade and tape was cut down to the current almost 7 minutes.
Does the 13
and
minutes?
I remember there being a definite part where it was like, okay, this is the chorus. So you're going to go back in and sing these 3 times in a row. And then we're going to double your voice, you know. And so I was kind of told what to do to make that the chorus, you know, once it had more shape than kind of just the jam that we started with. I mean, the lyrics were there. I didn't rewrite them or write them new. They were all there, but you know, they just kind of got arranged.
Is that what you learned? You learned how to create a pop song from Rick? Is that kind of?
I guess so, yeah. He was really a good influence. He was just very, you know, he was very man of few words, but always listening and, you know, leaning over and saying things to the engineer. I remember that. And just being very gracious to us, you know, and encouraging us to just, you know, be ourselves and make it happen in our best way, not impatient at all about anything, and really chill. Just, I remember him just being this kind of quiet person sitting in the corner of the studio in a really big, comfortable chair. And as tall as he is, he could just fold himself up like origami and, you know, with his knees up in the chair and be listening.
That's exactly as
I guess I
picture
can
him.
say this about him now. Yeah, but he also used to keep a little tiny pipe, and he had Hawaiian weed that was evidently very strong. So
That's the
that
secret.
kept him real chill.